Hi everyone, this is Mrs. Van Horn, and this is for Distance Learning Week 2 starting April 20th to April 23rd. This is the first of the recording for the lesson. We are going to start with some warm-up problems. And hopefully you've done the homework problems so that you know how to do this very easily. So the warm-up problems are, you're going to solve and graph the following inequalities. I am going to give you 4 of them, and I suggest that you treat this like a quiz, because you're going to have a quiz at the end of this class. It's going to be very similar to this. You're going to get 4 questions for the quiz, and you're getting 4 questions for the warm-up. The first question is, x plus 4 is less than 5. Second question is, negative 3x is greater than or equal to 12. So remember, you're supposed to solve it and graph them. Then I am leaving some space here, and I will say number 3 is 3x minus x minus 2 is greater than or equal to negative 4. And number 4 finally is 12 minus 2x is less than 4 times 6 plus x. Okay, so at this point you have the 4 problems. So I suggest you solve them. You pause the video now and solve them. I am going to walk you through the answers in 3 seconds, but at this point you should pause the video and do the warm-up problems so that you know what you can do. Okay, the answers are in 3, 2, 1. Alright, so if I was trying to do the first question, you solve it just like the way you would do an equation. You have to isolate x. The goal is to get to x is less than or equal to or whatever inequality and some number. Just like for equations, we wanted to get to x is equal to something. But now we want x inequality some number. So that means we want to isolate. We want to get rid of anything around the variable. That means we want to get rid of this 4 here. How do we get rid of the 4? We subtract 4 from both sides. And when we do that, what are we left with? This goes away, and you are left with x is less than 5 minus 4 is just 1. And when we are adding or subtracting, we don't do anything with the inequality sign. It just remains as it is. It gets preserved. So now we just need to graph that. To graph that, we draw our line, put our 0, and 1 is to the right in relation to 0. So then I will get my 1. That's my boundary point. Put a circle around it. Should I be shading, or should it be a closed circle or open circle? It should be open circle. Why? Because x cannot be 1. So that means, and looking at the inequality sign, it's pointing to the left. So I am going to shade to the left, just like so. Okay, that's number 1. Number 2 is x, negative 3x is greater than or equal to 12. Now, I am actually going to rewrite this as it is. Negative 3x and then 12 as it is, and you will know why in a minute. So I need to get rid of this negative 3 because I want to have x by itself. I don't want this negative 3 around x. And what is negative 3 doing to x? It's multiplying to x. So what is the opposite of multiplying by negative 3? Dividing by negative 3. So I am dividing both sides by negative 3. However, remember what we discovered? When we are adding or subtracting, the inequality sign always gets preserved. When we are multiplying or dividing, if it's positive number, then the inequality sign gets preserved. But this time, it is negative number. Okay, so we have a negative. We're dividing both sides by negative here. That means the inequality sign has to get flipped. So inequality sign has to get flipped because we are dividing by negative number. So then that cancels out and you're left with x is less than or equal to 12 divided by 3 is 4. Positive divided by negative is negative. So now you have x is less than or equal to negative 4. Found my boundary point, that's negative 4. So there, here is my 0. Negative 4 will be to the left of 0. Then I find my negative 4, my boundary point, put a circle there. And should it be closed circle or open circle? It should be closed because it's less than or equal to. This equal to sign tells me it should be closed circle or shaded in. And then inequality sign is pointing to the left. So I can go to the left like that. Okay. All right. Then number 3. Oh, it's getting a little bit more complicated because we have parentheses. So that's going to be 3x minus, okay, I need to distribute. Remember, I don't distribute the 3x. This is sort of like there's an invisible 1 right there. If there's no number, just the operation, that means there's an invisible negative 1. And this gets distributed to both of these numbers and variable in the parentheses. Negative 1 times x is going to be negative x. Negative 1 times negative 2 is going to be positive 2. And then you still have everything else as it is. So at this point, I've just distributed. I haven't done anything to both sides of the equal sign. Okay, so in this case, now I'm going to collect like terms. 3x minus x is just going to be 2x plus 2, negative 4. And then from here, okay, we do the same thing. Okay, we want to get to x is equal to something. That means we have to get rid of this 2 as well as this 2. Which one are we going to get rid of? Just like when we were doing solving equations, we need to get rid of this 2 first. So how do I do that? I subtract 2 from both sides. And that leaves me with 2x on the left-hand side with the inequality. Negative 4 minus 2 is going to be negative 6. And then from here, I am dividing both sides by 2. And remember, this time, unlike number 2, I am dividing by positive 2. So I don't do anything to the inequality. The inequality sign stays the same. Then this 2 and 2 cancels out, and you're left with x is greater than or equal to 6 divided by 2 is 3. So it becomes negative 3. So then I need to plot it. I find my 0 here, and the negative 3 will be somewhere to the left. I am going to draw my circle over my boundary point, which is negative 3. Am I going to shade it in? Yes, because it's greater than or equal to. This equal sign means I need to shade it in, and inequality sign is pointing to the right. And of course, if I am using that method, I need to make sure that the variable is always first, then inequality followed by the number. Okay? Alright, then let's do the next one. 12 minus 2x is less than, this time, 4x. 4 times 6 is 24 plus 4x. Okay? Alright, so I have two options. I can try to bring this. I see that x's on both sides, so I really want the x's on one side only. So I can bring this to the other side, or I can try to get rid of this negative 2x, or I can try to get rid of this 4x. It's up to you. Let's do it one way, and then we can try, if we have time, we might try doing it the other way too. So let's see. Let's see if I can get rid of this negative 2x. So to do that, I am going to add 2x to both sides. That leaves me with 12 is less than 24 plus 6x. Okay? And then from here, I want to get rid of this 24. So I'm going to subtract 24 from both sides. That leaves me with 6x on the right hand side is less than 12 minus 24 is negative 12. And then from here, I am going to divide both sides by 6. And you're left with x is greater than negative 12 minus divide by 6. 12 divided by 6 is 2. Negative divided by positive is going to be negative. Okay, when I see this, negative 2 is less than x. I really like to convert that to change the order, and this time I want x to be on the left hand side and negative 2 to be on that side. And remember, the alligator mouth is opening to x. That means I need to flip that to the other side, because I am just changing the order. I am just changing the order of writing it. Okay, so then if I was to graph it, that would be negative 2 and 0 here, and I could open circle and open it to the right, and here we go. Oops. Okay, here we go. All right, so that's the problems worked out. Okay, as I promised before, I want to see what would happen if I try to get rid of, instead of getting rid of negative 2x, what if you got rid of 4x? So I am just going to rewrite that problem again and see if we get the same thing. So 12 minus 2x is less than 24 plus 4x. Instead of, before we got rid of this negative 2x, now I am going to get rid of this 4x. So 4x plus, I am going to subtract 4x. Never mind, negative 4x from both sides. This goes away and you're left with 12 minus 6x is less than 24. And then I want to get rid of this 12, so I am going to subtract 12 from both sides, which leaves me with negative 6x is less than 12. Okay, so but this time I need to divide both sides by negative 6. So let me just rewrite that as it is. Then I am dividing both sides by negative 6. Now remember, if I am dividing both sides by negative number, I need to flip the inequality sign. So it is no longer opening to the right. Now it is opening to the left. So then that goes away, and x is 12 divided by 6 is 2. Positive divided by negative is negative. It's opening to the left. Okay, or it is pointing to the right. So, and that is exactly, I'm sorry, I keep forgetting to raise the camera. Now it is the same solution as the other, but we just worked out in a different way. Great, this is the end of the first video recording. Please watch the next recording as well.